Usually happens after they do. It might be live at 5:30. At 6:30. At 6:55. If it's
I don't
live,
know. I don't know if I'm gonna do mornings. I literally, I don't know.
you can take naps.
You can't. I think
We don't take naps.
You don't take naps between live shots. Don't lie.
No, I don't have time to take naps.
Now I just bought a pound of coffee. I got something for that. So I can't take breakfast from 7 to 8. You know, really 6:30 to 7:30.
We also don't have that.
You don't know how to live, man. Come on.
We don't have a break.
Because you got 20 to 25 minutes between live shows.
My photons used to be sleep.
Yeah.
They just
Take a
have
little
alarms on
nap.
their phone.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Take a nap.
I mean, get my live shot set at 30 minutes before. Nowadays, I'll listen to a podcast or just on my phone until like 3 minutes before, and then just walk out, pick up the phone, and go see.
We set up at 10 till.
Yeah.
It just becomes so.
We're supposed to have a picture at 10 till. So wake up, turn it on.
Wake up from your nap.
You know, if it ain't spot noon, if it like today they had us out at that shooting on the east side that happened at 10 o'clock last night
Oh yeah, wait, where did you guys go live this morning?
from the apartments.
Oh,
Where'd y'all go from?
the police station.
Oh,
I'm like,
wussies.
nope.
It was all right. It wasn't crazy. Oh, chicken foot roast. She is the superintendent.
Oh wow.
She is the this chicken. She's a Am I in the way here?
I'm not taking
Yeah, I liked mornings when I did mornings. I liked. Yeah, 9 to 6 when you're 6 o'clock live shots in the scope. Long time, yeah.
In the leg.
Test, 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 test.
I'll tell you where to go.
You already did.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Okay, this is great. Wherever you would like to hear.
You want to move them over?
Okay, yes.
And actually, they can stand.
How about,
Nobody wants to
Here,
stand.
I'll get on the other side. How about that?
there we go.
Scoot on. Jeannie, don't
Have,
give her.
Do we have a union representative here?
I have not seen him.
Dr. Hartzler is. Do we hear from
You'll be
him?
good.
Okay. Do we know if Dr. Hartzler is?
We do have a representative from the
Oh, okay.
You look good there, Major.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all come forward. Yeah. You can get closer still. There we go.
Hey, how you doing?
You represent Dr. Hartzler.
I am today.
What's your name and title?
Ty Wartlow, Director of Safety and Security.
Well, thank you all. Thanks for your flexibility. I know you're all really disappointed not to be standing out in the rain right now. This is a really exciting deal, and I appreciate all the folks here being here. I appreciate my colleagues from the City Council, Councilor Patrick, our chair, Councilor Gilbert, Councilor Q. This was an initiative that really came forward when all of us were working to assemble the Vision Tulsa program back in 2016. I think there was broad agreement amongst us on the council at the time that the city needed to step up and be doing more to support education in Tulsa. That while we had been providing crossing guards in the past, that there was so much more that we could do to support the mission of education in Tulsa. And in fact, subsequently, we passed a resolution changing the city's overall policy to clearly state that support for education is a municipal function of the city of Tulsa. But at the time, first and foremost for us was the safety of kids and making sure that Tulsa children can get to and from school in a safe way. We found that we had an unacceptable number of children getting hit by cars when they're just doing a simple act of trying to walk to and from school. So we had very productive discussions with the leadership from our three major K through 12 school districts, and I really appreciate all three of you being represented here today. And they really gave us excellent feedback on what we as a city could do to make this a safer place for kids to get to and from school. That led to inclusion in the Vision Tulsa program. I want to say it's 80 over almost 100 different projects that we're doing. 82 different Tulsa public school sites, 5 Jinx public school sites, and 17 Union public school sites. So if my math is right, that's 104 projects throughout the city, all within the city limits that we're doing. And today we're here to celebrate that as we get ready for kids to go back to school in the next couple of weeks, our first 17 of those projects have been completed or are nearing completion, pending the weather allowing us to get the job done. I really want to thank the excellent teams that we have here at the city, in our engineering services team, our streets and stormwater team, our streets engineering team, and the folks at Lee Engineering and Becco have done a great job at prioritizing these projects. I think they get as much as we did on the council and the voters did in approving these, the importance of protecting kids in Tulsa. So the total amount that was approved was $14.5 million. As I mentioned, that funds over 100 different safety projects around town. And when I talk about that, what I'm talking about is things like sidewalks, crosswalks, speed humps, curb ramps, things like that, improvements in lighting that make it so that kids can get to and from school more easily. Now, the first round of schools that we've completed include Roy Clark, where we were supposed to be before nature intervened, but also Carver Middle School, Cedar Ridge Elementary, Clinton West Elementary, Darnaby Elementary, East Central High School, Grimes Elementary, Jarman Elementary, Jefferson Elementary, Jones Elementary, Lewis and Clark Elementary, Mark Twain Elementary, McLean 7th Grade Academy, Ochoa Elementary, Rosa Parks Elementary, Skelly Elementary, and Unity Learning Academy. And as you hear from all of those, what we're really talking about are the youngest kids in our public school systems that are going to and from school. These are almost entirely, with a few exceptions, in the early going elementary schools, where we want to make sure that these kids can get to and from school safely. Speaking today on behalf of the council, I'd like to welcome our chair, Councilor Patrick, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning, all. First, I'd like to thank the voters out there for their overwhelmingly support of the Vision package, because without your support, this would never happen. And also, I am very proud of my colleagues on the City Council, and very proud of then Councilman Bynum. He led his leadership through the whole Vision process. And without his leadership and his innovation, we come up with a very great, and I think it's a very great and innovative Vision package that done things that we've never done before. And I really appreciate his leadership as councilman, and I really appreciate his leadership as now our mayor. And I really respect GT Bynum. So, saying
I typed up the talking points.
Well, I missed it. But saying that, and the mayor already covered some of these figures, is in that package $14.5 million that the taxpayers of the city of Tulsa approved for the Safety First initiative for schools. 82 improvements of Tulsa public school sites will be done. 5 Jinx public school locations will be improved, and 17 sites in the Union Public School District will be enhanced in our safety so we can make sure our children are safe. So I want to thank you all for coming today, and I'll turn it back over to the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Councilor Patrick makes a great point, and that is that the citizens of Tulsa, in approving this, they really affirmed a different approach than we had accepted historically. Historically, the city of Tulsa's position had been that support for education was up to the school districts, that they had, it's mystical, really. The status quo of the city in the past had been that schools could take care of themselves, that they had their own funding vehicles, they had their own elected leaders. And I'm so thankful that we decided that we'd had enough of that mindset in Tulsa, that we saw a different path forward in which if the city and our schools and local citizens were empowered to work together, we could make very clear improvements in education locally. We're doing that on the capital side through this initiative. My hope, and I'll just speak for myself, is that one day we can do that on an operational side where local citizens are empowered to fund education the way it ought to be. But for today, I'm very thankful that the citizens of Tulsa were empowered to make our schools and the routes to and from them safer for kids, and we are delivering on that for the citizens of Tulsa and for those kids. Any of us up here will be available to do one-on-one interviews with you afterwards. I really, again, want to thank all of you for coming out today. It means a lot. And thank you very much for being here. That's it.
We've done it before.
Oh, no. Look at Aaron, that never has been.
We're gonna get a quick
I
group
could say
picture.
something right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, what?